So, there's this ancient Buddhist text, the Kshitigarbha Sutra, and for a long, long time, it's been famous, or maybe infamous, for one thing. It's absolutely terrifying descriptions of hell. For centuries, it was read as a big book of warnings. But what if it's not really about the afterlife at all? What if it's actually a user's guide to the human mind?
And at the very heart of this sutra is this just unbelievable vow. It comes from the central figure, Kshitigarbha, who is a bodhisattva, which basically means an enlightened being who decides to stick around to help every one of us get there too. And this isn't just some nice promise. He's saying he will literally put his own final enlightenment on hold until every single being is free from suffering. I mean, it's one of the most radical, powerful statements of compassion ever made.
So for a really long time, this text was basically used as a tool of fear, right? Its super graphic descriptions of punishment were read like a supernatural horror story, meant to scare people into behaving. And because of that, a lot of people just dismissed it as, ancient superstition.
But what if we've been reading this map completely wrong? What if this ancient text isn't about some supernatural place of punishment, but it's actually a profoundly psychological story about the hells we create for ourselves right here, right now?
Okay, so first, let's just look at that traditional reading. Because if you take the text literally, it can feel like this very rigid, almost transactional system of cosmic justice. The text is just packed with these if-then statements, like praise Kshitigarbha's name and boom, you erase eons of bad karma. Make an image of him, and you get 100 lifetimes in heaven. But, and this is a big but, on the flip side, you mock the teachings or disrespect a follower, and you're headed for the worst possible outcome. To anyone reading this today, it can sound kind of like a simplistic system of threats and rewards.
But then, smack dab in the middle of the sutra, something happens that just forces us to look way, way deeper.
In this incredibly cinematic, universe-spanning scene, the Buddha himself just puts everything on pause. He lets out this brilliant light from his entire body, lighting up every single world, every corner of existence, just to get every single being to listen up for what he's about to say. And with the attention of the entire cosmos fixed on him, what does he say? He gives Kshitigarbha and his work the ultimate endorsement. He praises his inconceivable and compassionate power to save everyone. This is basically the Buddha giving this sutra his personal, cosmic seal of approval. And this raises a massive question. Why? Why would the ultimate enlightened being go through all that trouble to endorse a text that on the surface just looks like a basic list of do's and don'ts? Well, the answer is that we have to look past the surface. And this brings us to the heart of it. We need a new way of reading these ancient ideas, a way that reframes them through a lens we can all understand today: psychology.
So what if hell isn't a place we go after we die, but a state of mind we can get trapped in right now? I mean, think about it. The unrelenting hell the Sutras talks about. That sounds an awful lot like the inescapable loop of addiction, doesn't it? Or the living nightmare of trauma, or the crushing weight of severe depression. These are the modern hells.
And when you start to use this psychological lens, the sutra's logic completely transforms. Just look at this. Praising Kshitigarbha stops being about pleasing a deity and starts being about cultivating a positive mindset, something we know can literally break negative habit loops in our brain. Disrespecting the teachings? That's just a perfect description of cynicism and negativity, which only ever makes our own suffering deeper. And offering music and song? What a beautiful metaphor for expressing joy and gratitude, which are the absolute cornerstones of mental resilience.
So karma completely shifts. It's no longer about some cosmic judge in the sky handing out sentences. It becomes a really practical, down-to-earth principle of cause and effect. Our repeated thoughts and actions literally create our reality. You can think of it like neuroplasticity, how our brain rewires itself, or even the compound effect, where our tiny daily habits add up over time to create our destiny. And this new way of seeing karma as psychology, it's not just some cool theory. It actually reveals a powerful path that starts with something we all feel, the simple human desire to feel better. The sutra suggests something pretty radical. That deep desire to end your own pain, what it calls blessing seeking, it's not selfish. It's actually the necessary first step. It's the engine that can eventually power a huge compassion for everyone. And this, right here, this is the path it lays out. It's brilliant, really. It all starts with acknowledging our own suffering. That leads us to want to heal. And as we try to heal, we start to understand the cause. Our own patterns, our habits, our karma.
And in that moment of understanding our own pain so deeply, we suddenly look around and see that exact same pain in other people. That's empathy. And that empathy explodes into a vow to help everyone, a commitment called bodhicitta, which is the exact same vow Kshitigarbha made.
So this is the crucial point. This is the big reveal. The sutra isn't just asking us to worship Kshitigarbha, it's inviting us to become him.
Because ultimately, this text isn't a story about some distant, powerful deity in another realm.
It's about a potential, a quality that exists inside every single one of us.
It's about the fundamental, deeply human quality of care.
And the profound, active choice to take responsibility for the well-being of the people around us. A modern Kshitigarbha, that's the son who patiently and lovingly cares for his mother with dementia. It's the recovered addict who now runs a support group, willingly going back into that hell to guide others out. It's the student who stands up to a bully, or the social worker who absolutely refuses to give up on anyone. They embody the vow. They are the Kshitigarbhas of our world.
So the sutra leaves us with this final, piercing question. And it's not about whether hell is real or not. It's about recognizing the very real hells of suffering that exist all around us, in the lives of the people we know. And then it asks, personally, who in your world is waiting for you to be their Kshitigarbha?